Hello and welcome to Z News. If you follow us or follow the automobile industry in general, you must be aware how rapidly the electric vehicles are becoming popular in India. However, if there's one thing that is stopping the electric vehicles to become mainstream, it has to be the affordability factor. And that is where MG Motor comes in. Well, meet the MG Comet EV, India's smallest electric car. On paper, this car is already a winner thanks to its class-leading features, its unique design and the range. But how good is the MG Comet EV in the real life? Well, we'll just find out in our first drive review. Now, before we go any further and talk about range and stuff, let me address the elephant in the room, which in this case is the design. Now, as you can see, the design of the MG Comet is quite unique and can't be compared to any regular car. And in that sense, it has a very polarizing design. And if you talk about the height, my height is 5'10", so you can see this car almost matches my height. So it is quite tall with smaller wheels and a boxy design. To further accentuate the straight lines, the MG Comet gets horizontal front and rear connected lights. However, the main attraction of the Comet has to be the funky color options, like the dual-tone apple green variant we drove, attracting all the eyeballs in the city. You also get various stickers and graphic packs to customize your vehicle. Like the exterior, the interior of the MG Comet EV is quite unique and radical in many ways. You get many luxury car inspired features like this dual connected screen here. Having said that, MG has kept practicality on the top spot and you get all these large spaces to keep your stuff. There's no central tunnel here, and one unique feature I found about this car, which again can be quite polarizing, is there is no start stop button in this car, which means if you have to start this car, you have to double tap the accelerator pedal, and if you have to switch off this car, you have to go outside of the car, use the key to lock the car, and then it'll be shut down. Well, this is a fancy feature to have in the car. It can prove to be gimmicky for some. Gets a dual-tone space grey cabin theme that enhances the feeling of space inside a car as small as the Comet EV. The two-spoke steering wheel is also interesting, while having only two windows at the front can be claustrophobic for rear passengers. The material quality is questionable, but I wasn't expecting anything better from a car at this price tag, and you shouldn't also raise your expectations too high. Even the doors don't close properly without a heavy push. The MG Comet EV is a two-door four-seater car, which means to access the rear seat you have to pull down this front seat here, which can be quite a cumbersome operation if an adult has to access the seats behind here. However, there are large aircraft inspired windows here that adds to the sense of roominess at the rear seats. You also get iSmart connectivity like all the MG cars, with functions like voice command among others. Overall, the MG Comet gets some interesting features and design language. What I didn't like was the positioning of the window buttons at the center console, among other small issues. The MG Comet EV comes with a battery pack option, which is 17.3 kilowatt-hour in capacity and lends it a driving range of 230 kilometers on a single charge. You can charge this battery using this port, which is easily accessible, and MG will be offering a home-mounted wall charger and also a regular wire which can be used in your 15 or 16 ampere sockets at the home. We got a very limited time with the MG Comet during our first drive review, mostly driving the car around the city, and found out this car is a revelation as far as the steering and the suspension is concerned. The car was incredibly comfortable to drive and easy to maneuver in the city traffic. You get various modes like Sport, Eco and Normal to fiddle around with the performance, but that will also impact the range, so one has to be very careful. It also gets a multi-level regenerative braking, but that can be altered using a button on the dashboard. The gearbox gets a rotary knob, which is easy to use and saves space. The small size of the car helps you cut the traffic and also park the car in tight spaces, which is a perfect for a city car. The MG Comet manages to establish itself as a credible city vehicle that's also green and unique in many ways. Now, in my honest opinion, the MG Motor EV with its limited 230 km driving range is purely made for city driving. Having said that, it gets some unique features like customizable exteriors and fully connected infotainment system, which sets it apart from the competition. Should you buy one? Well, it depends on a lot of factors. But MG Motor has to be commended for thinking out of the box and bringing something unique for the Indian market.